y'all? It's your boy Tevin Jameer back at it again with another episode of the Hate It or Love It podcast. And I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. Like right now, I'm using the new PowerShot V10 camera as the camera for this episode, and this isn't gonna be the main camera that I use for the podcast or anything like that. But because this is a new camera that I got, I want to test it out. I want to see how it looks. I want to see the quality, like all of that. Basically, I'm just using it as like I would use my other camera for this episode. Like I said, I don't plan on using this as my regular camera, but there may be times where I have to use this as a camera. So this is just me testing it out to see how the quality looks on here, just to see if it is a suitable like backup camera for the podcast. But don't worry, if you guys still like seeing my face and that other camera quality, it's still gonna stay like that. But when I said I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I tried recording this episode twice already, but I went into the camera, I fixed some settings, so yeah, we should be straight as far as this take. But like I said, y'all, welcome to the podcast. This episode is not really gonna be that long because there hasn't really been a lot of like news lately, like no real big updates on any of the topics that I've been talking about recently. I guess the only update that I could say real quick is if you guys have been keeping up with the strikes as far as the writers and the actors, this past weekend, actually last Friday, they were in negotiations with the major studios. The Writers Guild. I don't know if the Actors Guild sat down with them, but the Writers Guild sat down with the studios, and of course, if you guys seen the updates, like they sat down but they couldn't come to any agreements, so unfortunately the strikes are still going on. I was very hyped when I found out like that they were going to sit down and talk, because I was thinking that there could be a solution, but we still have a long ways to go before a solution can come. So yeah, that's the only update that I really can say on like any topics that I've been talking about. But for this week, we're mostly going to focus on the state of rap. And some of the topics that I'll be talking about is, one, I'm going to be talking about how this year in rap has kind of been stale. Not many big releases. It wasn't until like Uzi dropped the Pink Tape, and then Travis Scott just dropped Utopia. So we really haven't had any big releases besides those two. Second is female rap. Like, how do I feel about the state that is currently in? And for some people, recently, some of the hip-hop pages I follow on YouTube, they've been referring to female rap this year as prostitution rap. So I'm going to give my thoughts on that. And then the last topic I want to talk about is the XXL Freshmen. Like, what was my thoughts on this year and stuff like that. So, all right. Like I said, this ain't going to be a long episode, but I do want to get straight to it. So the first topic is, like I said, no big releases. How do I feel about that? I'm not going to lie, and I don't know what you could attribute this to. I don't know if it's because, like, maybe people are getting tired of hip-hop. Maybe people are getting tired of the same acts and stuff like that. But hip-hop really has been stale this year. I think I said it before in like old episodes where usually I like to listen to albums in order in terms of how they're released throughout the year. Like say let me use some names that I won't skip for. Like, all right, a T Grizzly and an NBA Youngboy. I like both their music, but they're not the type of artist where when they drop, I'm automatically gonna like go listen to it right away. Like, if T Grizzly dropped in January and then NBA Youngboy dropped in March, I'm gonna listen to T Grizzly's album first. Like, I like to listen to it in release order. And for the big names, like I said before, for the big names like Kendrick Lamar's, Drake's, J. Cole's, people that I really like that, I am willing to just be like, all right, I'm going to just listen to it right now. Like, I'm not going to sit there and wait. But to be honest, you haven't had like a lot of big releases this year. Like, as far as rap music this year, it has really been stale. And like, Drake right now he's on his tour and he said that he's going to release his For All My Dogs album. I think that's what it's called, For All My Dogs or something like that. He is supposed to drop the album, but for some reason he taking a minute. J. Cole ain't dropped in like 2 years. Kendrick dropped last summer. I feel like it was last summer. Yeah, he dropped last summer, and he's not. We as we know, Kendrick, he likes to take his time between albums, so we really shouldn't be expecting anything from him. Um, Other big acts like Big Sean, he hasn't, from what I've seen, he hasn't been teasing anything. Nicki Minaj is probably one of the only big names right now that has teased that she's dropping an album, but it's not going to be until later this year. I don't think she said it was going to drop until like September or October. So we really haven't had any big releases this year besides Uzi and Travis Scott. And also for a while, like hip hop, like any new hip hop songs or albums, from what I saw, hasn't hit number one on the Billboard or anything like that until Uzi. I think it was until Uzi. It was either until Uzi or Travis dropped. It was one of those two. But basically, up to that point, we really haven't had no number ones going on in hip hop. And this is really strange to me because you're so used to hearing how hip hop artists are basically at the top of the music game and stuff like that. And right now, we're in a year where, to be honest, the most music noise I'm hearing is from Beyonce and Taylor Swift, and they're basically pop singers. So I don't know, man. Hip hop it's in a very stale state this year, and if you ask me, I feel like one of the big reasons why is just because a lot of hip hop artists nowadays are doing the same things. Like they're not really, like there isn't any special hip hop artists dropping right now. I think at least that's my main reason, because like I said, there's people that, all right, like they drop, but I'll get to it. But the people that I'll go out my way for is like the special hip hop artists. Like they bring something that a lot of others in the game doesn't really bring. Like Lil Uzi, I know right now like the mix of rap and rock and roll is like a big thing, especially for some people in hip hop. That's a big thing for Playboi Carti, but I feel like Lil Uzi has a lane that not really many people can fulfill. Like we've seen a lot of Lil Uzi clones come out throughout the years, but I don't know. Lil Uzi has that special quality that not many people can, replicate. So whenever you hear that he's about to drop, people are gonna go automatically to it. And same with Travis Scott. To be honest, this is an unpopular opinion of mine. I like Travis Scott's music. I get that he's popular. I can see why he is popular, but I don't get why he is as popular as he is. Like, I'm not trying to hate, but the level that Travis Scott is at, I don't understand how he got that high. But one thing that's undeniable is that he has a unique style, sound, look, aesthetic to his music that not many people can copy. So he's another artist that's pretty unique to where when someone drops, they're automatically going to go check for it. So I feel like that's the big problem with hip hop right now, because I think I said it in one of my last few episodes. When it comes to the male rappers of right now, all you got is drill artists. You got people talking about smoking on ops. You got people talking about like how about the spin blocks and shit like that. Like a lot of those rappers, like a lot of the male rappers are rapping about the same shit. Then you get the female rappers who are also just rapping about the same shit. Like, nobody is doing anything special nowadays. And I'm talking male and female. A lot of people like to just attribute it to female rap. A lot of people like to just say, like, oh, the females is messing up the game. If I'm going to be honest, it's the males and females that's both messing up the game, because nobody does anything special. And if you ask me, I feel like that's the reason why hip-hop has been so stale this year. Like, come on, bruh. I remember back in the day, like, and look at me sounding like a damn old head or something, but like, I remember back when I was in high school, it almost felt like every week we would get some new music from artists that felt different or stood out and stuff like that. Like, one thing I gotta say is, as much as people be hating on the 2016 freshman class, I gotta say that there's not, like, one thing you cannot say bad about them is that they were all the same artists. That's one thing you cannot say. Like, the 2016 freshman class was so diverse. You had Uzi with the rock rap type style. You had Lil Yachty with his melodic, somewhat Atlanta, but somewhat like weird kid style type music. You had 21 Savage, who was like the cutthroat savage, like will kill anybody. Denzel Curry came through with the like lyrical but also ignorant type Florida sound. Then you had Kodak, who was basically nothing but that gutter ignorant Florida sound. And then you also had rappers like G Herbo, who was that lyrical drill artist. And then you had Dave East, who was like almost like an old school 90s, New York type vibe. Like, as much as people used to hate on that class back in the day, one thing you can't deny from them is that they were unique, and you felt like every time somebody from that group, not even just someone from that group, but like just back in the day when people used to drop, you felt like, there was something new going on every week in hip hop. Nowadays, it's just like Lil Durk drop. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but like Lil Durk drop. Most of the album is just, I smoked on this guy. Oh, I just killed your mans. I'm putting your mans in a blunt. Next thing you know, NBA Youngboy drops. I just smoked your guy. I'm putting him in a blunt. Like, it's all the same shit. Like, I cannot stand rap music right now because it's just like, it's all the same shit. And this is something I never thought I would say, because like, I'm a big fan of hip hop. I love hip hop. Back in the day, like when people used to talk trash about rap music and like, oh, it's all just money, clothes, and hoes. And like, I was always defending hip hop, talking about like, you can look for different type of styles. You don't have to just stick to what's on the radio and stuff like that. And I mean, it still applies now. But as far as like what's being fed to the masses and stuff like that, it's all the same shit. And I guess I can use this to go into the next topic that I have about how female rap is also the same shit. And hey, if anybody want to get on me in the comments, I literally just went on about how dudes was all sounding the same too. Now, if you ask me, I'm not going to lie. Like, a few years ago, I kind of hated the way that female rap was looking, because I don't like City Girls. I like Cardi B a little bit. Nicki Minaj, I think she is like one of the best female rappers because she has diverse topics and she can be versatile with stuff. I didn't like Megan Thee Stallion, but the one thing that I could say is at least a lot of the female rappers have like, same thing that I said about, actually, you can just say this about rap in general. Like, everybody felt somewhat different. Like, City Girls, Megan Thee Stallion, like, they felt similar, but I can't sit here and say that a Nicki Minaj is the same as a Cardi B. Like, that's not, I know some people is gonna say that you can say that, but to be honest, I feel like you would be lying to yourself if you sit here and say that Nicki and Cardi is the same type of artist. I feel like you sitting here and lying to yourself. But nowadays, also with the female rap, I'm not gonna lie, man. Like, you really get either two songs out of these female rappers. You get the scam a dude out his money, oh, me and my bitches is the baddest, or either you get those Lotto, like, put them on the floor, I put it on the floor type songs. Like, you either get one of those two styles. And I guess I could say that, like, at least the females are being a little bit more diverse than the males, because all the males is doing is just dissing ops and all of that. Ain't even nothing different with the males. At least with the females, at least they have two different styles to pull from. That's not really a good thing, but at least the females got a little bit more to offer. But this year has been like a lot of people have been like talking about female rap this year, and people have been highlighting it more just because there is a drought in terms of the male rap space. And in a way, I see this year as a double-edged sword for female rap, because personally me, I always felt like female rappers needed more shine. I always felt like there was a lane for people to like listen to female rap more. And the fact that I have to say female rap, like I want to just say rap, but people do like differentiate it. But like I feel like it's a double-edged sword, because I like that female rappers are definitely getting a lot more looks this year. Like Nicki Minaj announcing her album was like one of the biggest news in terms of hip hop this year. You know, Lotto and Cardi B's Put It on the Floor. Like that song went hard. It like, you know, it was getting a lot of plays. Coi Leray, her album didn't get a lot of plays, but her single gets a lot of plays. Um, you know, anytime the city girls do anything, like it's something that people focuses on. So like I like that female rappers are getting the shine that they're getting, especially Ice Spice. And no, for anybody that personally know me, no, it's not because I think Ice Spice looks good, but it just, she, you know, she's made a lot of good moves. She made a lot of boss moves this year. I mean, besides that last music video controversy, but I'm not getting into that. That's a whole nother video or episode or whatever. But besides, you know, that one controversy, Ice Spice has been making a lot of good, smart moves in just this 1 year of her career. Because I saw yesterday that apparently the 1 year anniversary of Munch is about to happen. So it's like, when you think about it, like this girl went from working with some of the biggest artists in the game, getting major looks from those bigger artists. She was featured on the soundtrack of one of the biggest movies this year, which is Barbie. She's basically become like a huge star in just this 1 year alone. So, you know, when I think about female rappers this year, like Lotto is doing her thing, City Girls, Cardi B, Ice Spice, they all doing their thing. But the thing that becomes a problem is that there isn't really much value that I get from listening to their music. And look, I know I'm a man, so like most people probably ain't gonna hear what I want to say or whatever like that, or people ain't really gonna care about what I say, but I'm just saying, personally me, just, and like I said, we can equate this to the male rap. Personally me, I'm trying to make a comparison here. Now look, I'm a male. I listen to a lot of male rap. Do I want to sit here and just listen to these rappers only talk about killing people, smoking dead ops and stuff like that? Do I constantly want to hear that all the damn time? No, I don't. I don't constantly want to keep hearing that. So now, what I'm trying to do is I want to ask all the women, if I have any women that do watch my podcast, do you constantly want to keep hearing songs about just using your body as an object? Or just scamming people out of money? Is that all you constantly want to hear? Like, don't you want to get some type of value from the rappers you listen to? Don't you want to hear them talk about different things? Like, I'm sorry, but, you know, like I said, I'm a male. I had this conversation with females before, and, like, they always say, like, oh, well, this music isn't meant for you. All right. Maybe female rap isn't meant for me. But I'm trying to make a comparison that I feel like where we can somewhat see eye to eye. And that's where, just like with me, when I listen to these male rappers, I don't feel like hearing a NBA Youngboy album where it's 30 tracks of him dissing Lil Durk and anybody else he's beefing with in Baton Rouge. Give me like maybe 3 to 5 songs on that album where you do that. But what the hell else is going on in your life, bruh? Like, what's going on in your life? That's how I feel. At least if I was a woman, I feel like that's how I would feel as far as female rap. Like, I don't want to sit here and listen to city girls rap about scamming a dude for the 30th time. And hey, maybe y'all don't feel that way, but that's just what I'm thinking. That's honestly just what I'm thinking. Like I said, I ain't trying to like I always say with this podcast, I'm not trying to start no trouble or nothing like that. I just want to build a conversation. So my thing is, do y'all get tired of hearing that same type of rap out of these female rappers? And as much as people give Nicki Minaj shit, I can never shit on Nicki Minaj. I can never. I used to do it back in the day before I really listened to her music, like before I really listened to it, but now that I've, studied her music, now that I actually took listens into multiple of her albums, I can see that the one thing I can give her is that she is versatile. She is not going to give you the same song every single track of the album. At least she gives something different. Like, a lot of people give Nicki Minaj shit. But if you actually sit there and listen to her album, she talks about more than just, oh, I got a fatty, or stuff like that, or I'm gonna get his money. Like, she doesn't just rap about stuff like that. Like, she actually talks about, like, real life shit. She talks about, like, feelings and, stuff like that. Like, I feel like I get value out of listening to Nicki Minaj. And some people may even be like, oh, but you just said that you somewhat like Cardi. If you actually listen to Cardi B's first album, Invasion of Privacy, that's not the only thing she raps about. She doesn't just rap about, her ass and stuff like that. So my thing is, a lot of the female rappers right now, and before anybody tried to get on me in the comments, I had heard full projects from Megan. I have heard full projects. I've heard Ice Spice. I have heard Ice Spice's full project. I don't know if I want to listen to the deluxe, because like I said it before on this podcast, I do not like when rappers drop deluxes. But, my thing is just the state of rap, whether you want to talk about females or males, is just not interesting right now. Like, rap is just really not in an interesting place at all. And tying this back up to the last topic that I have, and that is the XXL Freshman List. How does me talking about the overall state of rap fall back to the XXL list? Because one of the common things that I've heard about this list this year that I have not heard about any other year is that the rappers they picked were bland. A lot of the rappers that they picked this year, a lot of people said they just did not care. And also, I remember, now let me put it to y'all like this. When I was younger, and hell, not even when I was younger, but even just a year or two ago, the freshman lists were always something people look forward to. Like, I remember the freshman list is almost like a holiday for hip hop heads. Like, every hip hop YouTuber that I follow basically would have a video ranking the XXL ciphers, the freestyles, and also for me, I say that rap is almost like a sport to me. I see rap almost like a sport. So I kind of likened it to like the NBA draft or something like that. Like, that's how I basically see it. Like, when I see the freshman list each year, I be thinking, all right, these are the names that I gotta look forward to. These are the future superstars of hip hop. Like, every time I look at the freshman list, I always see, like, these basically are the next upcoming stars that I gotta pay attention to. I want to pay attention to their career and see how they do. And with each year, I feel like the list, and I know this is a common thing, but I feel like each list do kind of get worse and worse and worse. Like, back in the day, XXL used to be in their bag back in the day predicting these stars. Like, they predicted Kendrick, Cole. I mean, they were kind of late with Drake, but they still offered him and Nicki their own magazine cover since they were kind of late to their train. They predicted Logic, Wiz Khalifa, Nipsey Hussle, Mac Miller. The list can go on. They predicted so many names that would go on to change the world of hip hop. But as the years went on, it's almost like, all right, it just started to slowly become a popularity contest, or it just started to be like whoever accepted the list. All right, I guess so. And I feel like, in a way, I feel like XXL kind of devalued themselves. Because, like I said, back in the day, they used to be on point with predicting future superstars. But now that they start, I feel like they started to devalue themselves by one, everybody used to have to do a freestyle or a cypher. Now, the biggest stars always back out. The main people, the main people that draws people to the list, I remember Gunna didn't do a cypher or a freestyle, that year that he was on it. Apparently this year, Central C and Glorilla didn't do, freestyles or cyphers. They're the big names. They're the people why we come to see this. And maybe it's partly because this newer generation of hip hop doesn't really like to do freestyles and stuff like that. But I feel like XXL really devalued themselves, because where they used to force that, and where all right, if you don't want to be on here, then all right, we'll find somebody else. I feel like XXL really devalued themselves by not picking big stars as much as they used to. It really fell down to a popularity contest. Pick the people that you believe is genuinely gonna make waves in music. Stop picking all the people that you feel is popular. Maybe 2 or 3 popular people, but mostly stick to the people that you know is gonna have a lasting career in this hip hop game. And then also stop giving people options. This might sound fucked up because they've been doing this for years, so I don't know if it's something that they can reverse back on, but stop giving people options. When you have a big star, you want to capitalize off that. If I get a Central C or a Glorilla, the hell you mean you're not gonna do a cypher? You gonna do a cypher if you want to be on this list. That's what I mean. How you have something like this, but you don't want to get these stars, and how you get these big stars, but you don't want to capitalize off it. So that's one of my things with the XXL Freshmen. And like I said, a lot of people said that this list was bland and that they just didn't care. I remember years ago going on Twitter, every time a new cypher or freestyle would drop, it was always trending, or whichever rapper did something crazy was trending, or whichever rapper had a fire ass verse was trending. When X did his weird, cypher verse, people was memeing that and talking about that for a week straight. I remember when the 2019 class, I think it was the 2019 class, when Megan and the Baby killed their cypher verses, especially the Baby. People was rocking with it so much that he turned it into the XXL song. People used to really talk about these lists. Even the past 2 years. I'm not gonna lie, last year, not many people talked about it, but people was still talking about it. The last year that I really seen people really discuss and talk about that was, I think, 2020 or 2021, whichever year they had Moray and DDG and Coi Leray on. That was the last year I seen people really talk about XXL like crazy. Last year, little bit of buzz, but this year there was no buzz at all. I did not see not one thing trending. This year was not a good year for the XXL Freshmen, and to tie it all back together, this is just not a good year for rap in general. Now, I said all these complaints, so what is the solution? Honestly, I don't know. I don't feel like there's an easy answer to this, but one of the answers I do have is something that a lot of people ain't going to want to hear, and it's something that's realistically not going to happen, and that is the consumers talk the most. In my opinion, at least when it comes to how rap is right now and where things are at, a lot of times it falls on the consumers. It falls on what we're streaming, what we're listening to, what we're rushing out to hear. If we keep accepting the male and female rap lanes that we're getting right now, because everybody's complaining about how stale and boring and stuff like, all that it is. If that's what we constantly keep listening to, then that's what we're going to keep getting. So I don't really know what else to say besides, start affecting the pockets. Stop streaming the same shit so much. That's all I can really say. And like I said, that's not a realistic solution, but it is still a solution or a thought or whatever you want to say about it. It is still something. At least I'm trying to contribute something. Man, I feel like this episode is just like one long rant about hip hop this year. I sound like a very typical hip hop YouTuber. But that's it for the episode. Like I said, let me know what you guys think down below. If you guys have any thoughts on anything I talked about, because I talked about a lot, but if you guys have anything you guys want to say, let me know. And with all that being said, Tevin Jameer, signing out.